things. One of the difficult things is to figure out what the audience needs to hear, what they want to hear. You know, like figure out what is important to you. And I have to say, even though I love it here, and I talked to a bunch of developers from here, never really had like the proper time to talk to you about what questions you really have. So my talk is going to be called Fill in a Title During the Talk. And these are the slides. And there's absolutely nothing in here. The way this is going to work is I'm going to ask you to fill in the slides. Then I'm going to make a talk about it here on the spot. That deal? Let's try this. So, somebody tell me something that you want to hear me talk about. A question you have. A thing you don't know about. You can just yell at me, that's fine too, but yeah, go. You don't need a mic, I can hear you.
I'm making games in GameMaker for certain years, and I know that you're one of the biggest GameMaker developers.
Yeah.
Do you still love GameMaker after all this?
So let's say video game creation tools, like the tools you make games with. Choosing a tool set. Okay. Slide 1, slide 2. Somebody yelled something. I don't need the microphone. Just give me something. What? My first go. That's a terrible story. Let's not talk about that. Okay, go. Nuclear throne post-mortem. Nuclear throne post-mortem. Let's do it. Okay. Number 3. How to get featuring. How to get featured. Working with platforms. Okay?
3 biggest mistakes.
Inspiration. Yep. Alright, slide 5. Come on.
3 biggest mistakes.
Publishing on consoles. Alright, 6.
So you're spending a lot of time on Twitter, calling, yeah, and what are you actually doing now? Like coding or something on the game?
That's a good question for Q&A. I'm a programmer, so I code most of the game, yeah. Somebody else. Ooh, scoping? Scoping. Let's say scoping. Okay? Slide 7. 3 more, come on.
Early access experience.
What?
Early access experience.
Early access. That'll be in the post-mortem, it'll be fine. Okay, 7, come on. What? My favorite tools? Noodles, duck noodles. They're great. The chicken ones taste like plastic. They're awful, don't eat them.
How to keep going when morale in your team is very low.
How to?
Keep going, keep doing your game when morale in the team drops.
Discipline and, yeah, okay, discipline and motivation, yeah. Okay, slide 8. Working remotely. That was clever, by the way. Okay, slide 9. Ooh, favorite tricks. Oh, I like that. So, I mean, that is my favorite trick. That's true. Slide 10. Final slide. Come on. What? How to sell a game. Let's put that with the console one. Yeah, remote teams. We have that one. My biggest... yeah, I'll put that on the favorite tricks.
What about making one game per week?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's under tricks as well. Come on, we're running out of time. Come on, yell something. That's the inspiration. Sorry? Community. Okay, cool. Awesome. What's the name of the stock? How do we call the stock? Defcon Megamix? That's a very original name, Rami. Well done. Hi. Hi. My name is Rami Ismail. I'm one half Dutch independent studio of Flambeer. I do the business and marketing and programming. JW is the designer. We made a few games. These are the ones we made. We started games because we hated school. Noodles are great. We made a fishing game. Super Crate Box was first ugly and then it was great. And then we made a shooting game, and then we did dogs, and then Serious Sam, and then we made t-shirts, and then we made a fishing game, and then it got cloned, and then we made a fishing game, and then it got released in Modern Words. Then we made Nuclear Throne. Hi, my name is Rami Ismail. And this is the Defcon Mega Mix. Wow, that went fast. Now I have to drink water. This is water, right? Yeah. You never know what's under a stage. Things get weird. Oh god. Alright. So, choosing a tool set. So one of the first things you're going to do whenever you start working on a project is you're going to have to consider what you're going to make the project, right? And this sounds like a very easy thing, and in most cases you will go with the tool that you're most familiar with. And in most cases that is actually the right answer. If you're very good at Construct, make your game in Construct. If you're great at GameMaker, make your game in GameMaker. If you are good at Unreal, make your game in Unreal. Unity. If you want to program your own engine, holy shit, you could do that. I'm not going to say no, right? But the tool set that is best for you is the one you're most comfortable with. Now there are exceptions, those are actually very important. All of our games were released in GameMaker except for two. And the two games that weren't released in GameMaker were Luftrausers and Ridiculous Fishing. And the reason that Luftrausers was not done in GameMaker is because that was our first console game. And it was back in the day of PlayStation 3, and GameMaker actually did not have access to PlayStation 3. So when we started on the project, one of the first things we did is see what platforms we potentially like covering. And one of those was PlayStation 3, so we went to GameMaker, to Yo-Yo Games, the creators of GameMaker, and we asked them, could you make a PlayStation 3 actually? They said, yes, we can do that, but it will take months. We were like, we don't have months, we have a game that needs to be done soon. They were like, well, we'll start working on it, but it won't be done before your game is done. So we hired two programmers that helped me out porting the game to an entirely separate C++ framework that we created ourselves. And it was based on Hatchly, actually. And it turned out great. It ended up working on PlayStation. It ended up running smoothly on that. But what was important there is that even though sometimes the tools you are comfortable with will work for the basic idea of your game, one of the first considerations if you are making a commercial game is what platform will I be releasing. For Ridiculous Fishing, actually, the reason that was not made in GameMaker is really simple. The person we hired to help with porting the game, with updating the game on iOS, actually never used GameMaker and absolutely hated GameMaker. So we decided to use Open Frameworks for that one because one of our team members and one of the team members that will be working in code the most actually preferred not working in GameMaker. You don't always have to. That's a good phone ring though. Never heard that before. Anyway. So even though you might be comfortable with a certain tool, you have to always reconsider per project. The one important thing that I want you to take away from this slide is that everything is a decision, right? Even though it might seem like an obvious thing, we always use this engine, why not use this engine? If you make your decisions like that, where things are the way they are because they are the way they are, you're going to make mistakes. So reevaluate your engine at the start of each project. Reevaluate the frameworks you're going to use, reevaluate what you're going to be building the game in. And if a certain functionality does not exist in your engine, please file a report with your engine creators, with the people that created the engine. Just ask them. Because there was not going to be a PlayStation 3 export for GameMaker until we asked. And then they were like, yeah, we can do that. That'd be a bunch of work. Maybe. They did it, right? So if there's something that you really need out of an engine that doesn't exist, just put in a request. For the bigger engines, it'll take more effort, but it can never hurt. Nuclear Throne was actually interesting because that was made in GameMaker Studio. We started in GameMaker 7. And then halfway through the project, we switched engine, which is a horrible thing to do. Don't do that. And then we did it again. We switched to Studio, which is a horrible thing to do. Don't do it twice in one project. But it actually ended up being the right choice. So sometimes it could actually be better to just dispose of all the work you did, just get rid of all the work you did, and start in a new engine to start anew. Sometimes that can be the better decision. So in the case of Nuclear Throne, that was actually really interesting because Nuclear Throne was a project that started as a game jam. It started back in 2013 as part of the Mojam Humble Game Jam, which was a charity jam. And Notch, the creator of Minecraft, asked us if we wanted to be part of this charity. And the rules were simple. We got 48 hours to make a game. We had to live stream all of it. We could not turn off the camera. And then people could buy the games while the stream was going. So Nuclear Throne was actually not called Nuclear Throne back then. It was called Wasteland Kings, and it was made in 48 hours. So there's a very specific reason it was made in 48 hours. Because in our experience, if our team works on a game and it takes 2 days to make, it will take almost 2 years to polish to the standard that we are happy with. And we care about polish. We care about the game being good and smooth, and we want to make sure that the game feels right. So Wasteland Kings, Nuclear Throne later on, I'm going to call it Nuclear Throne from now on. Nuclear Throne was never going to be a commercial project. We were working on Lufthouses on the time, and that was the game we were interested in. It was fun, and it had explosions, and Wasteland Kings was the silly jam game we just did in the middle. And then we found that whenever we got bored of Lufthouses, we opened the Nuclear Throne project and just added like, we're like, that's also Nuclear Throne. So we added weapons, we added enemies, we added roads, we added all sorts of things. This wasn't our main project, it was just something that we were doing on the side. And at some point, me and GW were so fun, we looked at each other and we're like, why are we working on this? I'm like, if we are working on this much, why don't we make it a commercial project? So we switched Nuclear Throne to a commercial project. Then we started working on it, and the first thing we did is we got a team. And the way we select our teams is actually really simple. They are people whose work we admire, and then we send them an email. It's that simple. People always ask me, how do you get your team? It's like, we have a cool idea. We send them the prototype of that idea. We go, we need art. Do you want to do art? And they go like, well, you know, what's the deal? And then you talk about the deal. In our case, the way the project is built is very simple. Each of our collaborators gets a basic choice. We have a little bit of money up front. And what we tell them is you can choose. You can choose for full revenue share, and then they get X% of the profit. Right? They get a certain percentage of whatever the game makes. Or they can get an amount of money up front. And if they take the amount of money up front for every like $1,000 they take, the amount of revenue share they get gets lower. So they can choose to fully invest in the project and just trust us that this is going to be good. And then they're effectively shareholders. It is now also their revenue that's at stake. Or they can say, I'm in a financially bad spot, or I don't want to be disconnected to the project. And they just take one big upfront payment, and then they do the job, right? The main thing is we work with people who have and we don't usually work with people that we've worked with before. And the way we found those people, all of those people, is very simple with gaming. We pay attention to what happens in gaming. And then every now and then we will see somebody who made music, or who did sound effects, or who did art, where we look at them and go like, I think I would like to work with them. One of the people we worked with on the Nuclear Throne team was actually a student who sent a piece of fan art that was so good that we hired him. He was 17 at the time. We had to wait a few months until he was old enough that we could legally hire him. So we got our team together, and then we started working on the game, and he was 17 at the time, who sent a piece of fan art. One of the people we worked with on the Nuclear Throne team was actually a student who sent a piece of fan art that was so good that we hired him. He was 17 at the time. We had to wait a few months until he was old enough that we could legally hire him. So we got our team together, and then we started working on the game, and we decided that since Mojam, the original creation of Nuclear Throne, was live streamed, that we would keep live streaming. So every Tuesday and every Thursday, we promised we're going to live stream. And every Saturday, we're going to release an update. We did that for 99 weeks. Tuesday live stream, Thursday live stream, Saturday update. Let me tell you, that is a horrible idea. Don't do that. Just don't. Here's the thing. The benefits were great, right? We became great friends with our community. They loved it. They loved the updates. They loved the schedule. They loved the live streams. They really got to talk to us. The live streams were interactive. People were giving their feedback. And then every week they would have new content, new stuff, new weapons, new enemies, new levels, new music, new everything. And it was a very tight community. It was very nice. And in fact, I would say that the Nuclear Throne community, because of the work we did, because of how much time we spent on live streaming and communicating with them, is probably one of the best communities that a video game could wish for. These are people that cared, but also that understood game development, because they watched us actually make the game. So for those 99 weeks, we actually launched the game in early access. So it was available on Steam. The way we got on early access is we had an existing Steam title, so we just had to send an email. In the case of Steam, the